morning this morning, and welcome to a big time Ohio State recruiting update video here on the OHIO podcast. Do us a big favor if you don't mind. Smash that like button, hit the thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, ring the bell, and put a comment down in the comments section below. That's the trifecta, if you will. Hey, speaking of trifecta, happy Kentucky Derby Saturday to each and every single one of you if you enjoy a little horse racing and a little betting on the side. That being said, this is a huge recruiting weekend for Ohio State. They got off to a pretty bad start yesterday. We're going to talk all about that. We're also going to talk about a big time recruit that might be committing tomorrow, Sunday, May 4th. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the wide receiver position along with that as well. So let's dive into everything today. Let's start with the number one recruit from the state of Ohio, Elbert Hill III from the Northeast Ohio Hoban High School, decides he's going to commit to Lincoln Riley and USC yesterday. Now, this caused quite a stir amongst Buckeye Nation when he committed to USC. And if you all remember the last time I spoke about him a little bit, I told you all that this kind of reminded me of the recruitment we had last year in Trey McNutt. Northeast Ohio kid, top ranked cornerback. Ohio State was recruiting him, and then all of a sudden you could kind of hear things kind of cooling off with Ohio State behind the scenes, and then lo and behold, he commits to Oregon. This isn't new. This isn't something that is new for Ohio State. This has been a trend now for several years that some of the local higher ranked talent in the state of Ohio is seeking further education outside of the state. And there's several reasons why, and this isn't the particular video to get into all of that, because the world's smaller than it's ever been. NIL plays a big part. Ohio State's searching and seeking certain recruits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what we do need to get into is the response that Buckeye Nation had to this announcement, and then the response that Elbert Hill III had to Buckeye Nation. And so let's dive into that here and talk a little bit about that. Let me read for you the tweet that Elbert Hill had following the announcement that he was going to go out to USC and be a part of their really good 2026 recruiting class. By the way, is it too little, too late for Lincoln Riley? I don't know. USC fans don't think so. They're pretty high on this recruiting class. They think that they are trending to being back. We shall see what plays out. Lincoln Riley, to me, kind of feels like a guy who's always one of the names being mentioned, maybe going to the NFL. But we'll see how this turns out for him in the next couple seasons. But here's the tweet that Elbert Hill said: "How is it that the fans in your own state talk negatively about you and make up lies, but expect you to stay home at the same time? Oh, and let's not forget some of your in-state media also shaking my head, and then a plethora of laughing, crying face emojis from Elbert Hill." Now, let's just be completely honest here. If you are shocked that there was people on social media who were in his inbox DMing him, or in the comment section after the announcement saying nasty things to him, if you are surprised by that, I guess welcome to the real world. Your head has been buried in the sand for how long now? This is not new. This is something that's been going on for years. Think about Ryan Day, for instance, back when he lost to the team up north, and the nasty messages he was getting from fans, so-called fans, I should say. It's one thing to be critical. It's one thing to be disappointed. It's even one thing to verbalize your disappointment, or verbalize your criticism. It's a whole nother thing to attack said individual in which you are disappointed or critical about. That's a level that I think A lot of people step over, and I'm not sure why. It says more about you as a human being that you think it is your right to reach out to somebody and say a nasty thing to them because they make a decision that you don't like, or there's an outcome that you didn't like, and therefore you're going to attack them on social media. That says more about that person as a human being, in my opinion. Um, that is the by far the worst part of social media in the day and age we live in is the constant negativity, the constant attacking, the constant criticism that people apply, and to think that they're doing this to a 17, in this case 16, I believe, year old kid. Like there's no reason. There's zero reason for you to get on social media and attack this person. Now, I'm not surprised that happened. And if you all and for fan bases who then say, well, Ohio State fans are just nasty and they're just terrible people. This happens in every fan base. It does. It just so happens that Ohio State's fan base is one of the largest, and so there's a larger portion of idiots like that. But it happens in even the smallest of fan bases. There are plenty of group of five schools on social media where stuff like this happens too. You just don't hear about it because that group of five school isn't big enough for the noise to get escalated and the volume to be turned up on it. That being said, I have to address the fact that one of the things that we do as a fan base that is just it is bugging me to no end is as soon as somebody who you want or you perceived that should be a Buckeye or who you thought was going to be a Buckeye decides that they're going to commit elsewhere, there are these tropes that we fall into as fans that just need to stop. Number one, I guess he didn't want to compete. How do you know? Just because he didn't commit to your school doesn't mean he didn't want to compete. Maybe he just didn't like and feel that it was a good fit. Maybe he felt like competing on the West Coast was something he truly wanted to do. Saying somebody doesn't want to compete simply because they don't go to a certain school, I think is a lazy excuse and just a way for you to lie to yourself. Now, is there a chance that that could be true? Possibly. Maybe this particular recruit sees the competition that's already there and thinks, it would probably be 2 years before I see the field, and I want to play right now. And I think I can play earlier by going to this other school. That happens all the time, all the time, in multiple positions, on multiple levels, including, newsflash, it even happens for some people who recruit, who get recruited and commit to Ohio State. If they think, I see a path to the field at Ohio State quicker than I see a path to the field at name another school that they're being recruited by, that weighs into that recruit's decision. So just because Ohio State is deep at a lot of positions right now doesn't necessarily mean that that recruit doesn't want to compete. The second one you hear, well, Ohio State didn't really want him. They cooled on him. You can't, Ohio State can't cool on every single recruit that chooses to go to another school. Again, does this happen sometimes? Absolutely, it does happen sometimes. Maybe the position coach and the recruit just aren't jiving. Um, and so Ohio State's like, doesn't feel like this kid really truly wants to be here or wants to play for me. Where this other kid, who might not be ranked as high, but I still think is pretty good, definitely wants to be here. So I'm going to give that recruit more of my attention. Does that happen? Absolutely. It doesn't happen every single time. Okay? So stop using that as an excuse as well. Oh, Ohio State, they just cooled on them. That's not the case every single time, guys. Okay? So stop using that one as well. All right? So those have got to quit, okay? Those are just bugging the heck out of me. But now that we know that Elbert Hill III is not going to be a Buckeye in this recruiting class, which, by the way, he still has, and I don't think he's canceled it yet, he still has an official visit to Ohio State scheduled next month. So, can Ohio State flip him? It's not out of the question yet. It's not a completely no, 0% chance, but just saying, probably not likely. So let's take a look at our cornerback recruiting real fast, giving a real quick update on that. We have Jacob Weatherspoon in the kitty already, um, from Avon, Ohio. He is a cornerback slash safety. There's still kind of a debate on what position he's going to play. I'm going to say cornerback right now, but that is what it is. Elbert Hill now is kind of like off the chart. No, not going to happen. Havon Finney, he was someone who we had talked about before several weeks ago. He ends up committing to LSU. He seems like he's kind of a long shot now as well, along with Elbert Hill. Then you have two guys who haven't committed yet, who Ohio State are in on. Donovan Webb from Frisco, Texas. Jordan Thomas from Oradell, New Jersey. I feel really good about Jordan Thomas. I still have him in the yellow, but he is getting very close to me in becoming a green and a really high committable athlete. We will see with him as we inch closer to his official visit. Cameron Hamil from Goodyear, Arizona, kind of feels like that one's going to be lost as well. And Victor Singleton, who was a commit to Illinois and then flipped to Texas A&M, still feels like he's off the board for Ohio State. So we need to get busy with the cornerback recruiting at this point, but I think Jordan Thomas is our best bet to get one here. Before we flip it over to the wide receivers, let me remind you all that tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, fan favorite former Buckeye and the Rudy of Ohio State, Mike Warko, will be with us at 8 p.m. Eastern for our discussion roundtable. It's going to be a great show. We got great topics. And we're going to allow you all to ask Wargo a ton of questions, so don't miss that tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern. That's why you need to ring the bell so you get notified and you don't forget and you don't miss it. We go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Don't miss any of those live shows so you can come and be a part of the chat and be a part of those great shows. Now, let's flip it over to the wide receiver position. Again, another opportunity for Ohio State to get a recruit this weekend that's trending away. And although there are still some fans who are holding on hope that think that this could be a surprise commit, I used to feel that this was going to be a 50-50 coin flip. I don't so much anymore. But of course, we are talking about wide receiver Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, the modern day wide receiver from out there in Santa Ana, California. He is the teammate of Chris Henry Jr., who is already committed to Ohio State, and he's going to be making his announcement tomorrow, and he's deciding between Texas, Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, and again USC. Now, if depending on which experts you ask, it appears that KDW, as they call him, Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, is trending towards the Ducks of Oregon. He is a West Coast kid. He's always been a West Coast kid. And it feels like Oregon was the school that he has been leaning towards for a while. There was some thought that maybe Chris Henry Jr. could, since he's his teammate, and Chris Henry was an Ohio State commit, and Chris Henry is 100% in on Ohio State and basically shut down his recruiting, that he would somehow be able to maybe get Kayden Dixon-Wyatt to commit to Ohio State and come with him. Then there was this tweet a couple days ago from Jeremiah Smith that got Ohio State all happy with the whole eyeball thing when it was announced that Kayden Dixon-Wyatt was going to make his commitment on the 4th, and Jeremiah Smith gave those eyeballs like, "Ooh, I see you," and so Ohio State was reading into that oh, that means that Jeremiah Smith knows that Kayden Dixon-Wyatt's going to become a Buckeye. If he does, this will be a shock to the experts out on the West Coast who are all in that Kayden Dixon-Wyatt is going to be a Duck. Of course, I'm talking about On3, just to name who it is that is putting their name behind it. The recruiting experts from On3 are saying Kayden Dixon-Wyatt is going to announce that he's going to be an Oregon Duck. Now, again, this is just like Elbert Hill's recruitment. If he makes a commitment, it doesn't mean that he's shutting down his recruitment entirely. In fact, Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, just for those of you who are interested, has official visits scheduled to Alabama on May 16th, Ohio State on May 30th, USC on June 6th, Texas on June 13th, Oregon on June 20th. If you ask me my prediction, I believe KDW is going to commit to Oregon, and then he's going to take his official visits. And then on that June 20th, if all is well with Oregon, he's going to either make it official and stamp it and shut down his recruitment then, or someone's going to knock his socks off. He's going to go into Oregon and he's going to question it and open his recruitment back up. That's to me is kind of what we're seeing here. I think those are the options for him at this time, but sounds to me like Ohio State might go 0 for 2 on two of the top recruits that they were aiming for in the 2026 class this weekend. If that's the case, let's take a look at where Ohio State stands currently in the wide receiver recruiting department. Number one, they've got Chris Henry Jr. in the fold already. Jaden Ricketts, the Pataskala, Ohio Watkins Memorial High School kiddo, is in the class. And then just recently, Brock Boyd from South Lake, Texas, a recruit who Chris and I are very high on. He's in the class as well. Now we look at those who are offered, who I will mention because I think they are people who Ohio State has been really working on. Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, again, we'll know more tomorrow. Jalen Lott from Frisco, Texas, is the next one we'll talk about. He is a 6 foot, 170-pound athlete from Panther Creek High School. He seems to be a Texas lean at this time. He's officially visiting the Buckeyes on June 6th, but he also has official visits scheduled for LSU, USC, Texas, and Oregon. Moving right along here, let's take a look at the next one on the list, that being Messiah Hampton from Rochester, New York. Messiah is a 6 foot, 170-pound wide receiver from James Monroe High School. He is a top 100 composite wide receiver, ranked 99th overall. He's considered the 13th highest ranked wide receiver in the country and the number one overall recruit from the state of New York. Looking at his official visits that he has scheduled, he has Penn State on May 16th, Miami on May 30th, Ohio State on June 6th, Oregon on June 13th, USC on June 20th. So that is Messiah's outlook on his recruitment, and those are the top 5 schools currently that he is looking at. As far as what I see for him, I do think Ohio State's got a shot here. I think they got a shot as good as the other 4 schools there that are mentioned. So we'll give this a 20% chance and say at this point all of them are 20%. We'll see which way he decides to lean. Next up is Braden Robinson. He's a 5'8", 160-pound wide receiver from Red Oaks, Texas, Red Oaks High School. He's a top 350 recruit, currently in the composite at 332, 4-star. He's the 52nd highest ranked wide receiver overall, although 247 Sports is a little higher on him than on 3. And he's considered the 44th overall recruit from the state of Texas, 35 by 247 Sports. His timeline for official visits includes a visit to Arizona on May 30th, Miami on June 6th, Ohio State on June 13th, and Notre Dame on June 20th. This looks like someone who might be battling between Notre Dame and Ohio State, but don't rule out Miami from that list as well at this time. No crystal balls have been placed for him, and he is somebody who Ohio State is currently recruiting pretty hard. Now we have someone who I have someone as in the red here that I don't think is going to be a Buckeye, and of course I'm talking about WR Kayden Guilford. He is a 6'2", 190-pound wide receiver from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Plays for Northrop High School. He's a top 500 wide receiver, 3-star in the composite, top 100 wide receiver in the composite, 4th highest ranked recruit in the state of Indiana. He currently has official visits scheduled for Indiana on May 2nd, Ohio State on June 20th, and he was committed to Penn State and then decommitted back in February and opened up his recruitment again. Um, I don't, I, I don't feel. I mean, even though he has an official schedule at Ohio State, I don't know that it's a committable offer yet from the Buckeyes, even though he's been offered. So I think he's going to have to prove himself to Ohio State in summer camps. They're going to have to get him on campus, let him camp with the Buckeyes, see what he does in front of the coaching staff, and before I think they give him a committable offer, and then maybe we'll see if he can move up this list from outside of the red. But right now, I think Penn State hasn't given up hope on him yet. And I think Indiana's really going after him hard right now. Coach Sig actually trying to make some waves in recruiting. How about that? And then the last one I want to bring up is Brody Keefe. He, again, top 500 wide receiver in the nation, 3-star in the composite, top 100 wide receiver, 25th highest ranked recruit from the state of North Carolina. He is from Charlotte, North Carolina. The 6'3", 185-pound receiver plays at Myers Park High School and does not have any officials scheduled at this time. However, he did officially visit not too long ago Notre Dame, and he's visited Penn State. He's visited he's visited not visited, but he's offered by Indiana again. And of course, the two schools that seem to be on him the most right now include Ohio State and South Carolina. He's got great size. He could be one of those guys that maybe, if he grows even a little bit more, could become kind of like a tight end or a pass catching tight end, possibly. But we'll see what happens with Brody Keefe's recruitment as well. But right now, if you ask me my opinion, with 3 receivers already committed, I think Ohio State's looking for maybe one more. I doubt they go 5. I think they go 4, and I think it's that one more of those wide receivers is going to come from one of these 6 guys, either Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, Jalen Lott, Messiah Hampton, Braden Robinson, Jarkaden Guilford, or Brody Keefe. One of those 6 kids is going to be that 4th wide receiver. Do you think we get a 5th? I don't know. I don't think so. You let me know. This weekend's scripture verse comes from Luke chapter 9, verse 62. And Jesus said unto him, No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of heaven. I forgot the word heaven on there. My bad. Anyways, once you're in the fold, don't turn back. There's no turning back. Keep pushing forward, everybody. Also, want to remind you all that the College Huddle is up and active. We're going to be having a new video going to come out here in just a day or two, so you're not going to want to miss that. So make sure that you have already committed to the college huddle. That's right, like a recruit, commit to it, right? Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell, get notified when we drop new content. We haven't done a live show. We have thought about doing a live show for the college huddle. That'll be coming maybe later in early summer, possibly starting that up. But if you are interested, please head on over there. I'll put a link up in the top right hand corner there so you can click on the little College Huddle logo. That'll take you to the YouTube channel there for the College Huddle. Subscribe, please. If you've made it through this much of the video already, then you obviously love the content we give you on the OHIO podcast. And if you love that, then you're going to want to get your college football content that's not just Ohio State related from the College Huddle. Go there, check that out. We really do appreciate that. All right, guys, that's it for today. That's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for swinging by for a big, yeah, we're almost up to 30 minutes already. A big recruiting video for all of you. I wanted to drop all of this in. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Have a great Saturday. We'll see you all tomorrow night right here on the OHL podcast at 8 p.m. where we are joined by our special guest. You all love him, Mike Wargo, the Rudy of Ohio State. Till next time, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH. Sing Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. You all know what to do. Go